Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Queen's Park for Life. As always, I'm your host Glenn Marshall. We've got some exciting news hot off the press this week. Queen's Park have been nominated as one of the 4 finalists in the Southland Sports Awards for the Team of the Year category, as well as Coach Patrick Murphy being nominated as a finalist for the Southland Sports Coach of the Year category. So hopefully we can get a few people along to the prize giving on the 8th of July and sink a few brews and hopefully come away with a win there. This week on the show, we have Queen's Park Women's Assistant Coach and part-time player.
Yeah, part-time.
Nicole Dawson. How you going, Nick?
Good, I'm good. Yeah, I'd say I'm thrilled to be here, but...
But you're in front of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough. Oh, we'll just kick into it then, eh?
Yep.
Won't keep you here too long. What clubs have you played for and which club have you found to be the most enjoyable over your time?
Ooh, tough one to start with. So I've played at Old Boys, which is where I started as a junior, and played right through until I left school. I had, during that time, I played half a season for the Southland Spirit for women, but didn't enjoy the atmosphere of that, so I didn't play long. Not good when your own teammates want to fist fight each other. And then when I left, I went to Dunedin and I played for Roslyn Walkery. I had a season at Prems. It was okay, it had its ups and downs too. And then I did play social league up there the last year. I was there just working with my timetable and that. And then since coming back, I've played for Southend. I had one season at Old Boys just to help them out a wee bit. Back to Southend, but still wasn't completely loving football. So that's when Kate and Leanne hit me up. And I decided to come to Park, which was clearly, at the time, probably not one of the clubs that I would be considering. But my whole mindset changed on that, and haven't left and don't plan to anytime soon.
Beautiful, beautiful. We're glad to have you, mate.
Yeah.
So as someone who's you've played all over the pitch, what position do you think has suited you most?
Yeah, so I played most positions, not necessarily because I want to, but I've had to, because it's the greater good of the team. I have preferred to play striker, but these days not so much. The old fitness still lets me down on that one.
Bit too much running up top, eh?
Yeah. So I've quite enjoyed having a stint in the backs. Midfield, there's just too much going on there. Not my idea of fun. Yeah.
Especially for the over 30s these days, eh?
Yeah. Old knees feel it.
How have you found the role you're in now coaching, and what's the hardest part about it?
It's pretty good. Like Leanne, she knows what she's doing. She has like set plan for everything, and you notice it with some of the other teams as well. Like they're about rolling on subs and things like that, and we're out to win essentially. So we don't just play players because we have to, though we are trying to give girls as much game time as we can.
Yep.
The hardest thing's probably the whole organising teenagers.
You should be good at that, you're a teacher.
No. Yeah, I think they get sick of me asking them whether they're coming to training or not. It's just hard, planning training sessions and you've got 5 coming and then 9 turn up and you think, oh, I've only planned for 5. And 5's not really enough to be turning up some weeks anyway, but yeah. That, and then just like balancing out like my own home life and things like that as well with the wee one.
Yeah, 2-year-old.
Yeah, but yeah, Leanne, she knows how she wants it to roll for the season, and I just put the cones out as she needs them.
Yell a bit of abuse from the side.
Yeah.
Nah, fair enough. Now that you've seen every team, who do you think is the biggest threat and why? You've seen every team and you've beaten every team, which is obviously a good sign. But
we never really take Thistle or Gore lightly, because you know that it can be one way one week that you play them, another way the next week. The last game we had against Thistle, it was horrible wins and we took our opportunities, but you can't guarantee it's going to be like that next time. I think the real tough opposition this year is going to be Old Boys. They've got a real young team.
Bit of a surprise package.
Yeah, they are, and they've definitely changed. So we played them in pre-season tournament, and they were sort of all over the place. There was just random positioning of some people that, like Kate and Leanne have coached them through the junior Southland side of things, And then when we played them last time, they managed to just get the fit just right, people in the right positions, and yeah. Our problem is that they're going to be fast, and they're just starting to now figure out how they can put the goals away. They didn't take their opportunities against us, so we were quite thankful that we were able to put some goals away in the second half. Yeah.
So Old Boys, you reckon?
Yeah, Old Boys will be the tough one, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. They've actually developed quite nicely over the last few years, haven't they?
Yeah, well, they've gone from being on a high, like when I was there, they were one of the top sort of teams, and then they went through having no team and then sort of being the struggling team, and now they've sort of just had that group of girls come through. That's really set them that sort of basis. Which
is good. That's what we want. We want more competition, and they're doing it properly. They're doing it right. So good on them for that. What would be 2 or 3 of your most favourite moments to happen in football? Not necessarily at Queen's Park, just...
So how do we think about this? Obviously, prep me that this question might come up. So when I played at Roslyn in 2008, that was probably a high there. We had not the best off the field season, with our coach being asked to leave halfway through the season and things like that, and just a mix around of a couple of other coaches. But the team was outstanding. We had a couple of girls who were in the New Zealand under-17 squad, and a couple of players who were capable of playing that sort of level. And we won the competition, which was the first time in 18 years for the club.
Nice.
So that was huge. Sponsors paid very well for it. And it's handy when there's only like 4 players in the team who can drink.
Big bar tab.
Yeah, big bar tab. And then a Colt Cup, I've won that with all the clubs I've been with, but it was pretty special when Queen's Park won it, because the girls, they'd gone from being bottom of our grade to top and had never won it before. And it'll be really interesting this year. We're hoping for a 3-peat, but yeah.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Halfway through.
But those type of ones, they're probably the highlights, is when you have get the awards at the end of it.
Yeah. And you've won a few golden boots as well, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've won golden boot 2 or 3 times and Southland Footballer of the Year. Yeah. Which
is obviously individual highlights, but that's part and package of
a lot of that though comes down to teamwork. Like, I have to say, like the last couple of times, especially when I've got golden boot, it hasn't been me, like it's been down to the team. Especially a couple of the seasons, I've taken off on holiday at the end of the season, and the girls have managed to keep everyone else out from scoring so that my tally looks good. So definitely down to teamwork, not just me.
Do you see yourself continuing in a coaching role in the future? Is that sort of something you're looking to maybe get into?
Well, like this year I said to Leanne that I was going to take a step back from playing, which hasn't really happened. And I said to her that I would play as she needed me to, and that's been nearly every game. But with Shane Spencer stepping aside as assistant coach, I didn't want that to fall on someone like Kate, who was playing as well. In terms of coach in the future, I don't know, maybe. Hoping that my wee one might get involved in the next year or 2 once she's old enough. But
that's always a good way to start as well. If you've got a kid.
And so I think that's
you're going to be there anyway.
More approachable. I think at the moment it's nice because Leanne and I are friends and we get on well, and so like the whole coaching role is easy. I'm just her backup to help. But don't know.
Unsure.
So,
Unsure. What changes do you think need to happen to grow the women's game down here? If any, but
the women's grade is quite hard in the sense that it's hard to keep coaches, I think, a lot of the time, and for us to be able to keep teams we need to have good coaches. And I think just the way that we're sort of bringing the girls in, it's starting to get really good amongst a couple of the other clubs, but it's also some of the clubs need to be able to withhold those juniors coming through. Like we've got a couple of amazing girls teams coming through, 9th grade and 11th grade, and I watched them, the 11th grade I think it was, play in Gaul the other weekend, and they've got some handy players in there that'll be, shining stars coming up in the future. But I'm not too sure on that side of things as such. It's just how we retain them, I guess.
Like, one of the problems I've seen is that we have teams in the comp, obviously it's just one
probably is one. Like, you look at what Hope, they were going to play this year, and after the first week, at the first week they pulled out, and they played last year, and it was just a whole team of newbies, which in a 1 grade league isn't ideal.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
and Park's been through that with their 2 teams, their lower grade team, their seconds. No one wants to get thrashed every week.
Even the first team, when it started, had 30-0 holdings.
Yeah, exactly. So
unfortunately, it's just the method you have to go through at the moment.
yeah, so I think they've tried things in the past, but I think they sort of need to think of something to maybe develop those ones that want to come and play, but having a whole team of newbies just doesn't work.
So unfortunately, I didn't get to the game in Dunedin against Northern. I'd play down here, but the Prems boys unfortunately lost 3-0 there. It was 1-0 at half time. I'm not too sure, I haven't seen the game, so I can't comment on it too much. But other results, Donald Gray had a 2-1 win over the Southland youth team with Anton Fitzgerald scoring both goals. That was 1-0 at half time. In freezing cold conditions, to be fair. It snowed during the game, which wasn't ideal. The girls were meant to have a game, weren't they, Nick?
Yeah, sadly didn't happen.
For some reason, Southend decided to default.
Have a long
midweek.
weekend.
Yeah, which is just a strange decision by them. I don't actually know how you default midweek. You'd think you'd just reschedule the game, the sensible option, which I guess technically can still happen, but
We've tried.
yeah, it's just a bit of a disgrace, really. For the Premier, it's their Premier team. It's their Premier women's team, and they're just defaulting for no reason. I guess they just know they're going to lose and don't want to play, but not ideal. Div 1 played Southend as well. They came away with a 4-3 win. Div 2 had a bye, and so that's all the results for this week. Fixtures coming up. The Premier team doesn't have a game. It's the 3rd round of the Chatham Cup this weekend. So all Dunedin teams, or the top competition anyway, are off unless they're in the Chatham Cup. Donald Gray are out at O'Rourke against Thistle at 3 p.m. Div 1 are away to Winton out at the old paddock at Moores Reserve at 1 o'clock. And Div 2 are at home to Gore at 2:45 with the women having a bye, which is a bit unfortunate, isn't it? Because that's 3 weeks off in a row.
Yep.
Yeah, not ideal. Righto, mate, we'll get to the good part of the show here.
Yeah, the bit we all love.
Just in case you're not sure how it works, you get 5 clues. For every clue, it's worth 10 points, and it starts at 50 and works its way down to 0, depending on where you get it.
Okay.
So, who am I, Nicole? I was born on the 2nd of April 1974 in New Zealand.
I did have a sneak look at a few, but this was not on the list of people I looked at. No, I'm going to have pass.
Righto, we'll move on. Clue number 2. My favourite women's player of all time is you.
Who do I know born in April? Who do I know that age? Clearly do not have standards.
No, that's a fair comment.
Yeah. No, I don't know anyone.
Righto, we'll move on to clue number 3. In my spare time, I love to check out New Zealand Girls. The app.
Oh, it's fucking rat.
It is rat. It is the rat. Well done, mate. 30 points.
I was thinking female. It's rat.
Yep, that's the rat. You're his favourite player of all time, mate, for sure, 100%. But hey, 30 points, that's strong enough. So we'll pop outside, shoot some pins and see how you go. A few targets, you'll be in the mix.
Yeah.
Righto, mate, let's do it. Oh, well, penalties with Nicole today. How do you reckon you're going to go here, mate?
Hoping for 2 maybe.
Two. You're a striker. You were a striker.
I'm bloody hopeless. Hopefully beat Leanne, that's our goal.
Beat Leanne?
Yeah,
Righto, mate, fair enough. Just a reminder at home, 5 points if you score, -5 if you miss the target, nothing if I save it. 10 points for blue targets and 20 points for yellow targets. Good luck, mate.
Yeah, see how we go.
30 and 30.
Yep.
Got to be happy with that, mate. 60 total.
Nailed it.
Just slot in above Dion. Happy days.
Yeah. I'll dine out on that for a while.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll hate it too, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that brings us to the end of the show for another week. Shout out to the sponsors, as always, Downer NZ, Niagara Sawmill, Nind Electrical, Hop and Vine, Local Pack, Fit for You, Winton and Invercargill Flooring Extra, GD Electrical, Continuous Group Spouting, Food at Clifton have jumped on board. Cheers, Justin. We'll take your money, mate, anytime. Go get a Cliffy Burger. I love them. And, of course, the Calvin Hotel. Yeah, so, Nick, thanks for coming on, mate. Hope you enjoyed yourself.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
That's what everyone says, which I don't know if to take that as a compliment or not.
Yeah, no, it's dodgy when you get a text message from Glenn Marshall.
Yep, for sure. Nah, cheers, mate.
Yep.
Thanks for that. And remember, guys, Queen's Park for life. See you next week. Beautiful.